So actually I'm recording this actually after I've used the unit. Very impressed with the unit. Very solid. Setup was easy. Getting everything aligned pretty much worked first time out of the box. Didn't have to mess around with things too much. I didn't sharpen the cutter well enough, so I had to do a little bit of extra sanding. It's a US owned company, actually owned by a vet, and I've had a couple of communications back and forth with Craig, the guy that owns it. Customer service has been incredibly good. Nice to engage with somebody who's sort of running their own business. Overall very impressed. Just to give you an impression, I think this is the first one I tried without using the unit. I then tried to sort of make it a little bit sort of teardrop shaped. As you can see, I knew I was going to have to come back and finish this, so I left it actually on the ready to go back on the lathe. This is the later one I tried. I didn't have a pressure pot here either. Actually, not too bad. But just to give you a comparison, this is the piece I've done. Actually, just in the last couple of days using the EZ-Sphere Jig, and it's not a perfect sphere, but that's actually due to my sanding after I took it off the unit. So I can't blame the sphere jig for that. But I'm not sure if you're getting the that, but it's actually I'm very impressed with it. Very happy. I need to do some more polishing on it. And then maybe after I've got this perfected, the jig actually turns threads, and I'm a little bit more nervous about turning a threaded anything on the lathe. But maybe my birthday's coming up. Maybe I'll invest in the thread attachment for it. Anyway, enjoy the unboxing and setup. If you have any questions, put them down below. This is the first video I've recorded on YouTube, so apologise. Things have been out of frame and shadows and things, but hopefully it'll be useful anyway. What I wanted to do was, I've actually bought one of the EZ-Sphere jigs, and I was going to do an unboxing and a setup in this video, and then I'll do a follow-on video showing me using it for the first time. On with the unboxing, and hopefully this is actually the jig, otherwise it'll be embarrassing. Okay, so a nice little note there from Chefware Kits, and set of instructions which I actually had already printed out from the website, and actually found them quite useful. So we'll be following those during this. Quite nicely packaged up there. Okay, so let's take a look at the pieces. Okay, doesn't too complicated. As I mentioned, I'd previously printed out the instructions, and they're pretty good actually, and I'm hoping they're going to be even better when we're doing it in real life. So okay, so I'm assuming that this is this piece and this is this piece. That all looks about right. So it is suggesting I take off the lock nut, make sure that nylon washer is here, and I am feeding this through this. So that's not going to turn at the moment, but I'm assuming it's going to be turning this way. That's the locking nut. Okay, so that's giving me what's basically showed on there. So this is this piece here, though I don't have the post in yet. I assume that's going to come. The nylon piece, and then the locking nut, which I haven't tightened just yet. We'll get to that. Actually, I'm going to tighten that pretty soon by the looks of things, but we'll see. Okay, so the next thing is to slide this over. We've done that onto the locking nut, and okay, give me 1 second. I am going to go and get an Allen wrench and a couple of other wrenches, and I'll be right back. Okay, so Need to tighten this this lock nut onto the back, and it's suggesting that the tightness of this basically will just determine how easy it is to actually turn the post. So let's just see what that feels like. That feels, it's got a nice amount of friction on it, so we'll try that. Obviously that's going to be fairly easy to tighten as we're using it. And then the next step is to insert the post, and the post has a flat section on it, so that needs to go into here with the flat piece where the set screw is going to go, and tighten that up nicely. So it's probably a little bit hard to tell, but so let me just move this up out the way, just to give you an idea as to I think how that's going to go, because this goes across the top of the turning, not round the side like some of them. So this is going to be in the post, and then this is going to move back and forth like this, and then the wheel, obviously, as you saw, that just allows me to move this up and down. Okay, so that's the post in there. Just going to check that for tight. Just, yeah, that's good. Okay. Okay, and we've covered that piece. Okay, so on the back of the wheel, the wheel's moving this block up and down, and it's suggesting that inside here, yeah, there is. Okay, so I don't know if I can do that, but inside of here there's two tapped areas, threaded areas, and it's saying the bottom one, the one closest to the lock nut, is the one when you're doing a sphere. This jig can also be used for cutting threads, which I didn't buy that piece, but so I'm going to drop this lock nut, this lock handle in, and from what I read, this is basically just a way of sort of locking this in place between cuts, just I guess just to cut down on maybe vibration, or maybe just to stop it turning on its own. Not entirely sure how it would turn on its own, but I'm not a mechanical engineer, so I'll trust the team at Chefware Kits, who obviously are. Okay, so we've done that piece. Hopefully that's okay. So then we're going to attach the cutter bar, and this piece here is a spare cutter, which I ordered as an add-on. So basically you can see this has three different areas where the cutter can go. This is going to get clamped onto here, and then from what I read before, you can also turn it upside down to get even larger spheres. So I am going to have a quick look and see if it tells me what size or which of those holes I want to put this in. Yeah, so the sphere that I have here is, I think, about a 4-inch diameter. It is. So I'm going to be cutting something like a 4-inch diameter sphere. So this is position 2 is up to 4-inch. So that's the middle position. So let's go back to the instructions, but I'm going to place that into that middle position. So I'm just going to put this here just so you can see what I'm working on. So I'm looking at this way, and this position 2 is effectively the middle one. I'm going to put this into the center one. So this piece sits in like this. I'm going to tighten these two side screws because it's going to have a tendency to turn as I tighten the screw on the back. So I'm just going to just do that, and I don't want it to be too tight because I don't want it to tear the screws off. Okay. I've got a little bit of looseness there, and then I'm going to drop the holding screw into the back. A little bit tight. Okay, so that's pretty snug actually to get in there. I probably wouldn't advise moving that too many times, although it'll probably get easier as we use it more. Okay, and tighten those side screws. So now we've got that piece in. Probably gonna have to adjust that a little bit. Actually, probably gonna have to adjust that a lot. So I'll come back and do that when we actually have it in place. And then I guess the next step is to attach the cutter block to the actual dovetail. So, other way around. Okay, so we're going to put this in this way, and then that's going to be able to go up and down. Okay, which I assume is these 4 screws. Take the 4 screws. Okay. So there's some grub screws left. Not quite sure where they're going to go, unless they're spares for the side, but maybe we'll see. It's probably not good if I've got pieces left at the end. Okay. Longer handled Allen key, make this a little bit easier. There we go. Okay, so that's a little bit, feels, now that I've got the weight of this, it's I think it's a little bit loose, so I'm going to just tighten up this mechanism a little bit, I think. Just get a bit more friction in there. We'll see how that is when it's actually on the post. And then this scraper needs to be honed, as it does on a diamond file. So I'm going to pop this out. It also doesn't look quite aligned for where it needed to be either, but that's a pretty easy adjustment. Okay, so I am going to go and clean that up, and then we'll see how it looks when it's actually on the lathe and get it all lined up.